Oh, it's so close, you can almost taste it. And this week, we've got another surprise little announcement. So, I thought I'd shoot a very short, last-minute roundup of some of the names I missed off of my previous Reading videos. So without further ado, this is my last 3 bands I forgot to mention in my previous 3 Reading videos for Reading Festival 2018 Weekend Edition? Starting with the DMAs. The DMAs formed in Sydney in 2012 and have been on my radar for a little while now. I first discovered them last year with their record Lay Down, taken from their album Hill's End. The album Hill's End actually came out in 2015, but like most other Australian bands, it takes a long time for stuff to get over here. It wasn't until a couple of months ago that a friend of mine mentioned that the DMAs were his current favourite band around at the moment. And like the music nerd that I am, I decided to have a little search when I realised I actually already had some of their music in my library. Since then, I've been listening to other tracks by them. Delete is a personal highlight of mine. Don't delete my baby. Don't feel her still. I'm growing ever excited to see them at this year's festival. This year they released their follow-up to Hill's End with the album For Now, which in my opinion definitely draws inspiration from bands like Kasabian and the Stone Roses. I know, right? An Australian band making Britpop in the late 2010s? I see the irony. This year you can catch the DMAs playing the Radio 1 stage on a Sunday afternoon. Travis Scott is fast becoming one of hip-hop's biggest players. He started his career off after rapper T.I. came across one of his beats and decided to schedule a meeting. He then started closely working with Kanye West as part of Very Good Beats, which is the production wing of Kanye's Good Music label. In 2015, he released his debut album Rodeo, which would feature the track Antidote, one of his absolute all-time smashers. Since then, he's teamed up with some of the world's biggest artists. Last summer working with Major Lazer on their song Know No Better, and teaming up with Kendrick Lamar on tracks like Goosebumps. And also on tracks like Big Shot, taken from Kendrick's Black Panther soundtrack. And late last year he teamed up with Quavo, 1/3 of Migos, on their project Huncho Jack Jack Huncho. The track Saint Laurent's Mask, absolute destroyer. It was at Reading in 2016 that he was supposed to headline the One Extra stage on a Saturday night. Unfortunately pulled out at the last minute, something that he may be known for, leaving Stormzy to step in and save the day at the last minute. You're getting way too big for your boots. Last weekend, Travis released his 3rd studio album entitled Astro World. It's a career-defining record that is setting the hip-hop world on fire, and teaming up with Drake for the track Sicko Mode. This year, unless he cancels, this year you can catch Travis Scott playing on the main stage on the Friday night just before Fall Out Boy. Last, but by no means least, is an act that came at us as a bit of a surprise. There was a rumour mill going around beforehand, there was some merchandise that got leaked, but this is one that I never thought I'd ever see at Reading Festival. I don't even know where to start with this. This year's lineup is already the most bizarre in history, so to announce a name as huge as N.E.R.D. a week before the festival happens is a bit of a strange one. We're literally talking about one of the most popular urban artists on the planet, reduced to an afternoon Saturday slot, and being announced a week before the festival. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this delivery and booking, but one thing I know is that I'm super chuffed with it. I fell in love with N.E.R.D. after they released their first album in 2001, In Search Of. Tracks like Provider, Lap Dance, Rockstar, had the swagger of everything coming out of the hip-hop scene, but with the force of a rock record. Pharrell has since gone on to basically take over the world and be part of every popular track since 2001. But because of this, I'm not quite sure how well it's going to be received at Reading. One thing I know is I'll be checking them out on the Saturday afternoon in between Panic at the Disco and Dua Lipa. So that's it. I'll be taking to Richfield Avenue on Wednesday afternoon with my little brother to set up camp. If you do see me, say hi. And remember, if someone falls over, always help them up. And if it's cold, at least you know it's not we. Enjoy this year's festival.